All right, man. Let's go over Stan's free plays, betting commandments. Let's go over all the commandments for betting. Let's go through it, man. So number one, never bet more than what you have. Never ever bet the entire pot. This is why when you go on chats, etc., Patreon, Telegram, wherever you're going, these cappers or bettors, they'll tell you 1 unit, zero point 0.5 unit, 2 unit, 5 unit, and then max out they'll go 20 units. No one ever tells you 100 units. Because when you're betting, essentially, you're betting. So you could potentially lose this money. So you never, ever bet the entire pot. That is foolishness, I know, but there are many that enjoy foolish nature. Okay, the second commandment is to start taking your single tickets. A lot of you get caught into the cycle of hopping into profit boosts, all right? The key word is profit boost. A lot of you love the profit boost. 3 legs hop in for this profit boost, 5 legs hop in for this profit boost. Profit boosts are great, but single tickets with higher percentile of winning is even greater. So when you see a great single ticket, jump on it, whale it, and just love it. That's just the best way to go about it. Don't get me wrong, parlays are great, but if you want a good record, single tickets are where it's at. That's the second commandment. Commandment number 3. Do not base yesterday's stats for today's games. And likewise for weekly games like NFL, UFC, etc. that have a longer duration. Let's say, for example, Derek White goes off today, has 8 threes and almost 40 points. Tomorrow he might have no threes, sit at donut for threes, and have a total of 9 points. And that's exactly what happened recently. So let's say a player erupts, right? A player that doesn't normally erupt erupts. This is possible on both ways, right? A player that doesn't normally erupt erupts, and you predict that it did erupt. Or you could get the other way around. So try not to base too much on last week's stats or the previous stats to make your decisions, because these games are volatile, they're highly mutable, they constantly change, and they'll flip that script on you real quick. So base stats on different things, such as the code for the day. Number 4, be patient. You have to be extremely patient in the world of sports betting. Why? Because it's a very mutable space, right? Bets are constantly being mutable, depending on the scores, depending on who's playing, etc., the projections, etc. So be patient when you're betting. Be patient when you're choosing who to bet, on what you're betting on, and what apps you're using. Because some apps get better odds depending on what you're doing. So just be patient, all right? Don't rush in, okay? The best way to do and conduct war is the guy who's the most patient, okay? If you just jump in there, you're asking for failure, okay? So to alleviate any sense of failure, be patient with yourself. It'll help you from making a bad ticket. Commandment number 5. Do not let fear sell your ticket, okay? A lot of times you guys literally sit on the real app. Don't get me wrong, I love the real app. But do not sit there staring at the game, knowing that it's going to go seesaw, back and forth. And you're over here thinking, should I cash out right now? Look, man, if you let the fear get to you, man, and then at the end of the game, when that team actually does win, and you're like, wow, I should have just stood in there. Should have just waited. But, don't let the fear eat you. Because, that's exactly what's going to happen during these seesaw games. But if you really, really need to cash out, then do so. But more than likely, that team will still probably win. Because a lot of these games go seesaw on purpose. That's the point of these Vegas bets. Commandment number 6. The house always, always wins. Vegas always profits no matter who is playing, who is losing, who is winning. So the plus side of us knowing that is that Vegas has a preset number for us for all of these games. They already know total, spreads, points, everything prior to the game starting. With that information that they give us, we can use this as the precursor for how we want to make our parlays based on how they give out odds. So, yes, Vegas wins, but they win in our favor as well. Commandment number 7. Have a great strategy. So, a great strategy entails winning at a high number. How do you keep winning? By having good single ticket wins constantly, right? If I drop a set of NFL plays for the week, maybe 10 games, and I say about 8 of those win and 2 of those lose, that is an 80% winning margin for that Sunday week, okay? Instead of taking maybe 5 parlays with maybe 5 legs that may or may not hit, and maybe only one parlay hitting, and then out of those 5, one, you see the percentiles for that, man. It doesn't add up that well. So always have a good method for what you're doing, whether you're doing soccer, whether you're doing baseball, basketball, hockey, WNBA, tennis, boxing, whatever your muse may be. Have a good method, such as single tickets or parlays that you're sure of, so that you could keep a good strategy and a winning percentile. Code number 8, or commandment number 8, learn the numeric code. Learn gematria. All of these codes, all of these letters, are operating on the same sphere. The English language is one ginormous cycle of numbers and letters that equate to energy and power. If we learn the laws of these numbers and letters, we can equate to exactly what is going to be projected next. It's kind of like predicting the next sequence with numbers and letters, like a computer, like a CPU, almost building blocks for Bitcoin, essentially. It's finding out what's next, okay? That's kind of how these predictions work as well, based on the numbers and letters as well. Okay, number 9, do not let a loss bring you down, okay? There's going to be a tad bit of losses for you, especially if you're a newcomer, you don't know what you're doing, you're just starting off, you just want to win. That's all you're thinking about is winning. Okay, a lot of these things go seesaw, might go 50-50. You might just have an upset. These things happen in the world of sports. But the point is, we win more than we lose, and that's the biggest benefit of it. Okay, so don't be upset about these games, because it just happens like that, man. Nothing a capper says is straight law. This is just how it goes. No capper has full law. Unless they got the Vegas script right in front of them, they don't have law, okay? These scripts can flip in a matter of seconds. A script you thought that was happening an hour and a half ago can flip mid-game. Like I said, man, these scripts can flip like IHOP on a Sunday morning, man. They're going to be flipping those pancakes all game with these scripts. So don't take anything as law, and make sure you understand that these games are all mutable. Anything and everything can happen. We're just taking the highest probabilities when we do bet. And finally, commandment number 10. If things ever get out of hand, you don't blame anyone else, okay? There's this old Chinese proverb, right? It goes, the man who blames someone else is very far from it. The man who blames himself is halfway there. And then the man who blames no one understands it all, right? So when the going gets tough, guys, here is the number right here, guys. 1-800-GAMBLER. If things ever get out of hand, you know who to call, okay? And that right there, my friends, is the 10 commandments in sports betting. You're welcome.